Hey everybody, just Jesse here, welcoming you back into my garage, my man cave, for another day of accountability. I hope you guys were accountable, and I hope that it blessed you. Today's Wednesday, September 2nd, the year 2020, and I read through Ephesians chapter 6 today. And that talks a lot with intuition and how Paul understood how to defeat the enemy. Now, have you ever seen the outcome of something before it happens? When you do that and then it happens, you say deja vu. But Paul did, and when he wrote this letter, he issued a warning at the end of it to all of his brothers and sisters in Ephesus. And he basically wrote the warning to issue them a warning about all of the rough times that were going to happen to them. Ephesians 6:12 says that they're up against Satan himself. Now, that's super scary to think that a regular human being up against Satan in warfare. It's something that Satan is very powerful. However, the cool thing is that because they're up against Satan, Paul tells them how to defeat Satan, and he tells them that they can't do it on their own accord. They can't do it out of their own will. In Ephesians 6:10, it says only God can defeat the enemy. Our God is a mighty warrior, and we need him. He's our protector. He's our defender. He's our deliverer. He's our provider, and he's our guide. God supplies his army with all of their needs in order to fight the battle. Ephesians 6:11 through 17 tells us all to suit up in the armor of God to win the battle. As an officer of God, we are basically being sworn in to be an officer for God. That's one of the coolest things that I've taken out of this today, was that I always thought that we would have some sort of impact on people, but what it all comes down to is that when we suit up with the armor of God, we put on that badge, if you will, to be an officer of God. That God, whatever God's will is now working with us to take that final thing and defeat it, the final speed bump that the enemy has, and we can overcome that. Now, when leaders practice intuition, they provide their people with strategy to win and the knowledge of the opposition, and we see that in verses 11 and 12 of Ephesians chapter 6. Now, in verse 13, we see that leaders that practice intuition provide their people with the resources that they need. Now, in verses 14 through 17, there's also the plan for how to use those resources. And then later on, 14 through 20 shows us how to be detailed in communication when talking with God. So all of those things together help us suit up, help us put on the full armor of God, that we can communicate to God, and that we can be in the battle, that we can be part of the solution, as always. So it's really, really a good read. It's 20 verses or so. It's pretty quick, but it's definitely an amazing story. I definitely would challenge you to read it, and I hope that what you got out of this is something that what I learned out of this. And I know that it's quick. I know that it's in your face, but it really talks about how we can overcome Satan. So I always love to see you guys comment and put your thumbs up, and it's amazing to see all of that. I do hope that if this spoke to you, that you can share it with your friends and your family that may need to hear it. There's a link, you can do that. You can click the share button and send it away. Also, if you don't know what I'm about, this is just my video log of being accountable to staying in God's Word, to reading God's Word every day. And I make a video to just showcase what I've learned. And it's not to brag, but it's just to show myself that I can keep going. And if it helps somebody in the meantime, then it's all worth it. So Thanks for hanging out with me. As always, I hope that you are being safe, that you are going and growing, and that God blesses you.